Welcome back, YouTube. J Bob, the video game slob, doing a poor job of getting video updates in time, but yet here I am chasing down a $4,000 video game collection. That's what the woman tells me. She says she's willing to take $1,600 for these vintage PC games, big box, original prints, that kind of a thing. I've seen a few of them. Diablo and Warcraft are in there, and I'm a huge Blizzard fan. So we are in the great state of Bo Schembechler. Let's see if we can get a deal done and take a look at what we get. Okay, here we go. We have done the deal. As you can see, we got it done at $1,200, 121 games. So on average, paying 10 a piece. And then there's some freebies and extras and stuff in there. We'll start to sort through it, and we'll bring you along, of course. So here's what she did. This is what she meant. Game collection, $4,100, count 94. And of course there were some she couldn't find. Then there's some free loose discs and stuff like that over there she threw in. But there's some good stuff. I'm seeing Half-Life, Hellfire. This was the one that initially drew me. Huge Diablo fan back in the day. Well, still am. But I played this a million times. Let's go inside. It's cold. All right, here we are. It is all loaded into the house. We can start to take a look at what we got. So here's the full story. I had got a small picture of Warcraft and Diablo, and I think maybe the Carmageddons that we'll see in this box, for $125. And I said $100, and they said, well, somebody else is already on their way to get it. I was like, man, I had messaged back in minutes, I thought I had it. And I said, okay. And then the next day it was, hey, did the person come get it? No, they're going to come, 6 days from now. I said, you sure you just wouldn't take $125? I'll come get it today. Oh, no, this person's definitely coming, blah, blah, blah. 8 days go by. I licked my wounds. I really would have loved to have the collection. Those were some of my favorite games. I played a ton as a kid. And so what had happened is I guess that person didn't show up. They were traveling for work, something like this. Everybody's got a sob story. If you've been in this as long as I have, you knew they were never going to show up. But she goes, I got a full collection. These are my husband's games. Would you be interested in all of it? It's valued around $4,000. I have 120 of them. Asking $1,600. I said, I'll be there as quick as I can. I work a 12-hour shift today, but I'll hit up the bank, bring cash, and then we can talk when I get there. And she said, great. And so I drove all the way out of state to go get it. And I really didn't fully know what I was getting, but I knew I was pretty happy when I got there. Ultima 7, Virtue of Truth. It was things like this that were sitting out that I'm going, okay, there's value here. I am not an expert on big box PC stuff. I know, probably a lot of people watch Metal Jesus Rocks. He talks a lot about this stuff. It just doesn't turn up, and it certainly doesn't turn up in this quantity and quality where I am. So I have a good collection of vintage big box stuff, which to me is like 100 games. It's so this is probably doubling what I have in terms of big box PC stuff from this era. But yeah, I love the, SSI games, that whole look. But there's just so many. Like, I don't remember Siege, but just this artwork, Siege and Dogs of War as a bundle. A little bit of a condition issue there, but still really cool. You could tell the guy kept stuff in amazing condition. Software, etc. The original price tags of $14.88. Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter. They're just crazy good artwork on this stuff. Again, things like this, I have, if you follow this channel, probably more than 100 just Star Wars games. Never had heard of Night Shift. Never seen this game before. Very cool. And so I really don't know what the value is. But when it came to $10 a piece, I was, and she accepted. I was pretty cool with that. I do think I looked this up. And it's like 30 or 40 bucks, like, just to see, because I thought maybe that one's like crazy expensive. The Duke Nukem 3D with the mouse pad is pretty expensive. I did know that. I think we all follow Clint from Lazy Game Reviews.
If you don't, go check out LGR. But this was the photo. I could only see a few things in the photo, and this was one of them. I have wanted the holographic Daggerfall forever. I long ago wanted to collect all the Elder Scrolls games. I just knew that was never going to happen. I was never going to bring myself to pay, $250 for that game in good condition. So, very happy to have that. That's definitely going into the personal collection. And that's going to be the hard part of this is what can I sell to get some money back? And what can we let go? And things like Hyperspeed is maybe one of the things that we can let go. Myst is an amazing game that I have such a personal connection to because I've played so much, but I do own a variety of copies of that. That does pop up from time to time. So that's something that I can let go. But again, this was one of my childhood games, like Quake 2, and it still has the shrink wrap where he just basically cut it open and that's it. It's still really minty. And I kept it, and, I moved away for college, and, my mom got rid of it, unfortunately. It's one of those things. Carmageddons were just, legendary when I was a kid. You didn't have that, you weren't cool. The Carmageddon 2, and again, I don't really know what these go for, but I'm hoping a lot of them are in that $25 or more range. I guess we'll go down here, get these off the top, then we can start digging through. But what do these off-brand ones bring? Does a Planet's Edge, bring anything? Just really crazy cool art, graphics, whatever on that. NASCAR, I have this, of course. So this turns up a lot. Papyrus, which ended up being bought out by Sierra, I think, if I have that directionally the correct way. So stuff like that, I could certainly see letting go. I have different copies of that. But yeah, she tried. You could see she wrote things like, apparently this is $224, Paladin on the PC. She thinks that's a good one. Never heard of it. Interesting cover art. Who knows? And even if it is worth that, what are the odds that I can convert that into a sale myself? Lucasfilms. Again, that would be one I think I could let go, but I have no idea. But then there's stuff like this in the middle that, like, who doesn't love Lemmings? I mean, it's a great game. It's something that would be super cool in the collection. But I don't know. If it goes for a good price, we may have to let that go. I actually do have the Football Pro 97. I bought that for $0.25 once. Hexen. Super cool game. Obviously on the N64. I think probably is where most people maybe bought it. The Crusader collection. And it's stuff like this I almost feel like, yeah, I had a PC growing up and played a lot of PC games. I didn't have near as many PC games. I had console games, and so I don't even know what Crusader is, and it has this whole collection, and you think, maybe I don't know as much about video games as I thought I did. The embossed, super heavy version. The unlimited copy of SimCity 3000, very cool. I don't know. I don't even know what... The Lost Treasures of Infocom? Like... who knows? That could be something. I know people love those Infocom games. Mech Warrior 2. And I had a full run for several years of PC Gamer magazine. Mech Warrior 2 was in that row. Oh yeah, there you go, PC Gamer. Loved that game. Vietnam, Lynx LS. Those were cool. Another Baldur's Gate. Down here, which one is this one? The Tales of Sword Coast. But that wouldn't surprise me if maybe that is just a $10 or a $20 game based on, what I saw with the first one. Carpet Ride Plus. Oh, those early 3D graphics did not hold up so well. Oh, by Bullfrog. That's kind of funny. You see some of the old Sega Genesis games from Bullfrog back then. Riven, I know I have. We can let that one go. Beyond Time. There you go. Oh, Jewels of the Oasis. Well, here, we can cheat and go to the box, so... We have Jewels of the... Oracle. Sorry, not Oasis. Jewels of the Oracle. So we have that. Random stuff. Shareware Mission CD of Cybermage. Yeah, I no clue. And then the EA Gold Edition. And I have had some of these Gold Editions. I remember those Gold Editions when I was a kid on the shelves. Always thought that would be a great collection to have all of. Delta Force. Here we go. I love the big box Sierra stuff. Shivers. fantastic. Oh, Heretic. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh yeah, you had to have Heretic. From the publishers of Doom, they were leaning hard. Yeah, my buddy as a kid had this, so we would go over to his house and play that. But yeah, you can see the influence from Doom for sure. The original Quake, you know, fantastic shape. But then again, so it just you know, it varies. You know, Rise of the Triad, no clue. You know, but just what a great face. You know, the guns and mages and all sorts of stuff. The Finest Hour, you know, Spectrum Holobite stuff. I love, you know, for what it is. I mean, look, it's, you know, you're piloting a space shuttle there. But yeah, you know, could I live without that? Probably. Caesar. Rome wasn't built in a day. How long will it take you? Oh my god. Okay. Yes. Yeah, there you go. Gosh. See, it's games like this. You're like, I didn't even know I played that until you flip it over and you're like, oh, yeah, it's like in that vein of Pharaoh and all those kind of games. Stunt Driver by Spectrum Holobite there, the original with the ad-lib card. You know, great stuff. Yeah, Pagan, Ultima 8. You know, just in great shape with the, you know, banding still on it there. The complete Ultima 7, you know, and I think this one's still sealed. She said a couple of them were sealed. I think that was one of them. There we go, another Sierra game, the sequel to Shivers. But we've lost the manual on that one, which is a bummer. Delta Force Mahjong. So sometimes it, you know, it's just Mahjong junk. You know, you don't know. The very first Wing Commander. Special promotional release. Very cool. Jeez, yeah, these are packed in here, you know. But here's another one, Virgin Interactive, or it's not even Virgin Interactive, Melbourne House. Obliterator, seems like they're getting a little H.R. Giger-ish, or Giger, or however you say that. There, I don't know, crazy stuff. And you can tell they're just from different eras. This was the guy's, like, whole collection. Continuum by Data East. I mean, I know a lot of Data East games. Continuum was not one that I feel like I've seen on any of those repacks or anything like that. Another flight game. And these are some of my favorites. The Rainbird games. I picked a couple up from a convention like 5 or 6 years ago. Just like, I think 2 or 3 of them. This wasn't one of them that I remember. But just look at the graphics. I love the design, the box shape. They're not so overly sized and huge and obnoxious. You know, a Taito title there, Operation Wolf. Again, another one that saw a console release, but that one all the way back on the NES, right? So we're seeing some fun stuff. Rise of the Dragon. Try not to miss anything here. Oh, wow, Blackthorn. Yeah, that's, I mean, Blackthorn on the 32X is quite valuable. You know, I'm not sure what that means for us today, but you know, again, it's stuff like that. Oh, if it's super valuable, that'll stink, because that would help me, of course, get back some of the money, but that's one I'd love to keep. Lord British, Ultima, the Savage Empire, and just, I do want to point out the weaponry work there. I mean, you didn't have to go into that much detail on the stone spear, but the tip of that spear was just so detailed, I wanted to make sure you guys noticed that. I do have King's Quest V, the big box, in the collection. But yeah, King's Quest would be great ones. I'd love to have kept that if I didn't already have it. I believe King's Quest V, again, on the NES, if you had it in the original box. Quite valuable. But I don't know what that means for the PC. Red Baron, I'm not too heartbroken over that. Hopefully we'll find somebody who wants that stuff. Oh, Dragon Wars. My gosh, it's got just Arnold Schwarzenegger vibes like all over it. Fabio, maybe that kind of thing. Oh, you know, that's going to be a hard one. How do you let that go? That's just, you know, a cover to a game. That's just too hard. And again, a lot of these great ones. Ultima 7, the Black Gate. So we have a long video here. It's like 15 minutes. We'll cut it. There's still plenty more. Obviously, I promised you some of the Warcraft games and things like that. So that's still coming up. I still haven't found it. I'm seeing it as you're seeing it. So let's cut here. Thank you, YouTube, for coming along for another one of my crazy J. Bob spends more than $1,000 on a stupid collection, and he has no idea how he's going to get the money back. So join us next time. We'll see you soon.